Hello and welcome to Module 6 of Cassava Farming. In this module, we shall be discussing cassava processing, that is the basic, intermediate and advanced stages. Titled From Perishable Root to Profitable Products, Basic, Intermediate and Advanced Stage. Welcome. This module covers how to transform highly perishable cassava root into safe, shelf-stable and high-value products for local and industrial market. The module content we should be looking at here include overview of cassava processing method. We'll look at basic processing techniques, that is peeling, grating, fermentation, and drying. We'll further look at the intermediate processing, that is semi-mechanized system. We'll further look at advanced processing, that is industrial processing and automation. We'll further look at packaging, storage, and quality control standard before we draw our conclusion. By a word of introduction, why processing is mandatory. Title: Safety, Shelf Life and Profit. The bullet point here: fresh cassava deteriorate within 24 to 48 hours after harvest. Raw root contain cyanogenic glucoside that release toxic hydrogen cyanide. Therefore, processing achieves three critical goals. It eliminates cyanide toxin, that is make food safe. It reduces water content from 60 to 70% to below 12%. Then it transforms perishable root into shelf-stable products. Processing unlocks the value, which yield to garri, fufu, flour, starch, ethanol, and animal feed. Note that unprocessed cassava is both perishable and poisonous. Therefore, processing is not optional. It is legally and toxicologically mandatory. Let us look at the three scales of processing, that is titled Matching Technology to Volume. The bullet point here: basic processing, which is manual, entails up to 500 kg per day knives, handy graters, sun drying that targets local village market. Then intermediate, which is semi-mechanized, ranges between 1 to 5 tons per day. Diesel grater, it involves the use of diesel grater, hydraulic presses, raised stove that target regional wholesale. Then advanced stroke industrial automation entails between 10 to 100 plus tons per day, which entails robotic peelers, flash dryers, and PS controllers that target export and industrial supply. The progression is higher volume result to better hygiene and greater profit margin. Note that your scale determines your technology. Start where you are, but understand the path upward. As you can see on the screen, the peeling, the grading, and the processing techniques. Having known that, let us look at the basic processing, that is peeling and grating. Title Step 1 to 2 Manual Preparation. The bullet point here: the processing involves 1. Peeling, which involves remove the brown outer skin and the sticky cream colored inner contents, that is the ring of the cassava. This is where most cyanides reside. Then the tool used include sharp stainless steel knife. This should be done carefully not to waste edible flesh. Then the grating: shred peeled root into wet pulpy mash using a hand-held metal wraps board. Why do we need to grate? We grate because breaks open root cells, triggering enzymes action that begins releasing toxic hydrogen cyanide gases. Note that peeling and grating are the first critical detoxification step. Therefore, never skip or rush them. Now let us look at the basic processing, the fermentation and drying, which is step 3 and 4, which entails toxin removal and preservation. The bullet point here: 1. Fermentation. This is done usually between 2 to 5 days after harvest. Grated mass packed into jute or polypropylene bags. Natural bacteria that like lactobacillus produces acid that break down remaining cyanide, create the signature saw test of garri. Then dewatering, which is pressing. Heavy stones or chews or screws presses squeeze out toxic water. Then drying involve sun drying for fufu flour, pen toasting for garri, wood fire steel pan. Then target moisture is below 12% that stop microbacterial growth. Then note that fermentation is the biological safety lock. Therefore, do not shorten the 3 to 5 days window when using basic method. So this is the basic processing uh, of fermentation and drying. Now let us look at the intermediate processing, that is semi-mechanized pattern titled Stepping Up with Machine. So this intermediate involve the use of mechanized form. Uh, the target scale is usually 1 to 5 tons of fresh root per day. So the mechanized farm can produce up to between 1 to 5 tons of fresh root per day. It involves motorized grater, that is 5.5 stroke 7.5 horsepower diesel or petrol engine that usually shed 1 ton per hour versus 20 to 30 kilometers that is often used manually. Then the hydraulic presses the 12 to 50 tons. Then the water involves 15 to 30 minutes time compared to 24 to 48 hours with the use of manual method. Then the motorized rotary shifter, standardized granular size, which eliminate hand shaving. Then raised shimel stove that cut down firewood use by 50%, which removes smoke from workers. Note that semi-mechanized system eliminate back-breaking labor and dramatically speed up production with most investment. Now let us look at the advanced processing, that is the industrial automation titled Full Automation 247 Production. The bullet point here is that the target scale is usually between 10 to 100 plus ton per day, which involve continuous and non-stop operations. The key requirements for advanced processing include rotary abrasive pillars, no manual knives, then high-speed rasper, multi-stage hydrocyclones, then pneumatic vertical flash dryers. So these are some of the key requirements for advanced processing. The control system is programmable logic controller PLC plus real-time sensor. Then the product is usually for pharmaceutical grade starch, high quality cassava flour, and bioethanol. Note that industrial processing is for serious commercial operators. It requires higher capital but deliver the highest margin and export potentials. Now let us look at the product from each processing level, titled What You Can Make and Sell. For basic processing, which is the manual, the product you can get is garri, fufu, and sun-dried chips. For intermediate processing, you can get semi-refined flour, high-quality garri, and animal feed pellet. Then for advanced processing, the end product include industrial starch, high-quality cassava flour, as well as glucose syrup, bioethanol, and adhesive. Note that the more advanced your processing, the more high value market you can access, from local tables to global factories. Having known that, let us now look at packaging, that is protecting your product, titled First Line of Defense. The bullet point here, why do we package? It prevents moisture, pest, and contamination as well as physical damage. So packaging helps to prevent moisture, pest, contamination from infection, as well as physical damage of the product. Then the basic packaging we normally use is polythene bag, uh, woven sacks for local open market. Then for intermediate packaging, you use label bags, steel plastic container for regional wholesale. Then as for advanced packaging, we use vacuum seal, modified atmosphere, QR codes for export and retail chain. The critical rule here, package only when product moisture is below 12%. Otherwise, mold will grow inside the seal bag. Note that packaging is not just decoration. A poor package destroys your product before it reaches the customers. Now let us look at the storage, which is keeping quality intact, titled from processing floor to consumer. The bullet point here, dry storage, dry in a cool and well-ventilated warehouse for garri, flour, and sheep. Outright container prevent insect entry and moisture resorption. Then cold chain management, refrigerate storage for fresh or semi-processed product, which is rarely for dry cassava. Inventory rule, first in, first out. Use FIFO method for inventory rule. Older stock sells first. Then pest defense, regular inspection, clean surrounding, rodent barrier. Note that even perfectly processed cassava can spoil if stored poorly. Therefore, control humidity, temperature, and pest. Then let us look at quality control, that is meeting the market standard, titled safety, consistency, and trust. The bullet points here, why do QC matters? Why do quality control matter? It matters because unsafe or inconsistent product lose customers and face legal action. Therefore, key quality parameter is the moisture content should be less than 12%. Then cyanide level should be below safe limits. Then hygiene, no foreign material, clean processing environment, always involved in clean processing environment. Then grading, sort by color, particle size, and purity. Then certification framework include HACC, SIO 9001, SSC 200, as well as NAFDAC in Nigeria. Note that quality control is not an extra cost. It is your license to sell in formal market and export. Now let us look at common processing mistakes some farmers make. What you should avoid. Don't shorten fermentation time. Don't package cassava that is not fully dried. Don't use rusty or dirty equipment to package your cassava. Don't store different products together. Don't ignore pest signs. Do train workers on hygiene and equipment handling. Note that most processing failure happen at the transition between steps, especially drying and storage. Therefore, be vigilant. Now let us look at from farmer to processor, the value chain, titled Capturing More Value at Each Stage. The bullet points here, selling fresh root, lower the price and higher perishability. So when you sell your cassava root, it will lower the price. Then it will now hide perishability risk. Then basic processing for garri and fufu, usually 2 to 3 value increase for local market access. Then intermediate processing, that is semi-refined flour, result to 4 to 6 times value regional in your wholesale dealing. Then advanced processing, that is starch and high quality cassava flour as well as ethanol, usually add 8 to 12 extra value for industrial and export market. The key insight here, the more processing you do, the more profit you capture. Therefore, you should note, moving up the processing ladder is the single most effective way to increase your cassava income. In conclusion, processing is profit. Titled Mastering Processing, Master the Cassava Business. The bullet point here, cassava processing is mandatory, that entails safety and profitability. 3 scale are the basic, which is manual, which is less than 500 kg per day, that is the production level. Intermediate, which is semi-mechanized, that targeted 1 to 5 tons production per day. Then advanced stroke automated processing techniques that is targeted 10 to 100 plus tons per day. The critical step here include peeling, grating, fermentation, dewatering, drying, and packaging. Success factor include proper moisture, which is usually less than 12%, hygiene, quality control, and storage. The final message here, whether you process for your family or for export, follow the standard, protect your product, and you will succeed in the cassava value chain. Note that processing transforms cassava from a problem that is perishable and toxic into an opportunity such as safe, stable, and profitable venture. Thank you and have a nice day.